What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to go over something that a lot of people have questions about in the Amazon FBA community, and that's surrounded around sea shipping and air shipping, and basically the whole entire shipping process in general. Now guys, it's relatively really simple. It's just like anything that you would order online, on Amazon, on eBay, and basically the supplier is doing all the shipping for you, unless you have a third-party shipper, someone over in China that gets your product and ships it to an Amazon FBA facility for you. But so the first thing that you want to do when you're trying to figure out what you need to do for shipping is find estimates, figure out what you need to be paying. Now what you guys need to do is ask at least 3 suppliers, I'd suggest 4, and figure out how much it is for DDP air shipping. DDP is duties paid, so that means once your product is done manufacturing, it's already produced, it's completely in that supplier's hands for them to send it all the way over from door to door, from the supplier to the Amazon FBA facility. So it's on them. If you were going to do not non-duties paid, that means that basically the supplier would take the product and send it over to the forwarder or whatever, and then from there you would have to pay all the taxing fees and inspection and all this other crap. But no, we don't want that, guys. It's probably less expensive, but trust me, it would save you the headache if you just do air shipping, which is much faster than sea shipping as well. And sea shipping, on the other hand, is going to take you anywhere from 1 to 2 months, and honestly it's a hassle too, because you have to deal with customs and everything, inspection. So I wouldn't suggest you guys do that unless it's okay for you and your business for the long term, for you guys to send over products by sea, which is going to take a while, like I said. So honestly, I wouldn't do something like that unless you already had a bunch of units in stock and you don't mind paying less, and on top of that waiting more for your products to arrive. So the next thing that you guys can do after you talk to your 3 to 4 suppliers, you can estimate how much you should be paying for your product. Ask them how many kilograms would it be for 450 units or 500 units. Honestly, I'd ask them first how many kilograms it is for 1 unit, and then from there what you can do is multiply that times $5 or $6 and figure out a rough estimate of what you should be paying for air shipping. Now, like I said, ask 3 to 4 different suppliers. Some of them might be exact. Other ones might be completely different. One person might offer you maybe $500 for air shipping, and the other person might offer you $900. It really just depends, because some people, they might try and scam you, and other people might have a low product cost but high air shipping costs. Another one might have low air shipping costs but high product costs, if I said that right, or vice versa. But that's generally how it goes. Just try to find that a rough estimate and compare suppliers. Now if everyone's roughly the same, within $50 or so, $50 to $100, then you're good. All right. And then from there, what you guys can do, they're going to tell you when your product is done. They're going to be like, okay, hi Joel, your product is done, it's ready to be shipped out. And then from there you can pay the rest of the 70% that you would owe on the product and the shipping. And if you guys didn't know, you do not have to pay for your product all up front. I would never advise you to do that. In other words, it's kind of shady for the supplier to actually ask for that up front like that. Usually always just stick to 30% at the beginning of production, and then the final 70% when production is done. That's just for safety precautions, and it's better for us, right? Because we probably don't have a whole bunch of startup capital at first. We want to make that money in that first month, and so we can pay off the rest of that 70% and get our product shipped off to Amazon as soon as possible. So let's see here. So generally, I'd honestly go with the quickest air shipping that you guys can do. And what I mean by quickest, I don't mean 1-day shipping. Some suppliers even offer that. Like for my first product, I was able to get it produced within a month, and then they shipped it over literally like the next day, so it only took like a day for it to get over to an Amazon FBA facility, which is pretty cool. But each supplier is different. Ask them about, you know, different shipping rates, different options that you can do. Some of them offer 3 to 8 day shipping, you know, 6 to 8 day shipping, 10 to 12 day shipping. It all just really depends. And of course, you know, the shorter it takes, or yeah, the shorter it take, or the if it takes, you know, 3 to 6 days for the product to arrive at an Amazon FBA facility, then it's probably going to cost you more than it would if it took 10 to 12 days. So honestly, the reason why I suggest you guys do, you know, 3 to 6 or, you know, 6 to 8 is because you know, your products are going to get, they're probably going to get thrown around a little bit, because you got to think about you know, when it goes from the supplier over to someone that's forwarding it, then putting it on a plane, you know, them taking it off the plane. It might go to some state first. It might not go straight to the state where your product or your facility is located. So you have to consider all these things as well, and make sure you consider this before you actually buy your product. Make sure that the packaging is you know, really good. Make sure there's not a lot of space in the packaging for it to move around and bump on all the sides of the packaging. You don't want that, because like I mentioned, if you watch my previous video, that's the worst thing that can happen, is when your product arrives and you find out it's all damaged and broken. You guys don't want that. So just make sure, but I'm not saying that you can't do 10 to 12 day shipping. That's fine, but just make sure you're prepared for that in the packaging. Make sure that, you know, there's foam. Make sure you know, the cutouts in the box fit the product perfectly, and yeah, you guys get the gist. So the next thing is, you know, if the supplier asks for, you know, an address so they can figure out how much you need to be paying for shipping fees, just give them your home address. It's basically all the same. Whether you give them the Amazon FBA facility or, you know, your home address, it's to the United States. So all the shipping fees and stuff should be the same, regardless of what address you give them in the United States. But the way you can actually figure out where your Amazon FBA facility is by going on the website, and then you go on to the you set up the shipping plan, and when you set it up, you just enter in like the box dimensions, the weight, you know, how many cartons you're sending over, and from there Amazon will tell you which Amazon FBA facility you need to send your product to, and a lot of times it's usually in Dallas, Texas. I've never seen any other location I've had to send my products to, but yeah, you can figure that out on the website pretty easily. But like I said, if you can't figure that out right away, just make sure you just ask your supplier for the dimensions and weight. But yeah, you can just give them any address in the United States and it'll be the same shipping fees. Yeah, this is what I'm just trying to cover for this video. And the next one, we're going to actually go on to Amazon Seller Central, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how you can do your shipping plan, you know, how you do your labels, you know, where your labels go on your product. You know, you don't need a UPC and FNSKU code. You just need the FNSKU code. I'm going to show you guys how to print those out. I mean, your supplier prints those out, but I'm going to show you how to download them on your computer and then send them over to them. All this stuff is really easy, guys. It's not that complicated. It's very just step by step, you know, because once you do your research on the different suppliers and stuff and figure out what you know, a rough estimate of what you should be paying for shipping fees, you're gonna be set and ready to go. Because let me see what else we can. But yeah, guys, don't make the same mistake that I did. You know, I think a lot of people don't consider that as well. When they're sending their product over, they don't consider the packaging enough to where they aren't really thinking ahead that they need to have really good packaging, or, you know, a product might arrive damaged and may result in returns, you know, early on, and we don't want that. Especially if we're launching your product and we figure out that there's a whole bunch of returns, people are complaining, we get bad reviews. We don't want that. So just make sure even get a sample of the product first, right? That's something that I slack on. Everyone wants to do stuff really quick. They want to get from A to B really quick. But honestly, as your product is getting produced, send a product over. Look at it, make sure all the packaging is intact, make sure the product is intact, make sure it works. And then even you can send it off to another person. Send it off to another person that's going to review your product and figure out how it ended up in their hands. Like, is it good packaging? Is it a different product than what you received, right? And before they officially send your product off, before you pay them that final 70%, ask your supplier for pictures. Ask them to open up the box, show everything in the box, show every side of the product, just so that you can confirm yourself that this is what you want, this is what you paid for. So yeah, that's just something that I learned recently that we need to do, or we're going to be spending a lot of do all this stuff before you send your product over, because if you don't, you're going to have to be paying a whole bunch of other shipping fees, sending the product back over and waiting for a refund. You got to try and find a warehouse where to store your product so you can ship it internationally. So yeah, because if that does happen, if it does arrive broken or whatever, Amazon's not going to send it directly over to China. They don't do international shipping like that. You have to send it over to a third-party warehouse and then ship it to China. And that's just a whole bunch of fees that I had to pay for, and it cost me like $600. And I'm sure you guys, if you think about it, you guys could be using that towards actually launching your product and doing PPC, etc. So keep that in mind, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this video, and stay tuned for the next video tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys exactly how you do a shipping plan. It's very simple, very straightforward, and you don't have to keep changing it every single time. You set it default address for every time you send a new batch over. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Peace.